as we wait for this, I'll let you know exactly when. It says it's starting. If you are seeing this on YouTube right now and you're wondering what's going on, we are talking WWE Backlash. It just got over. But before we get started, I'm not even going to break into the podcast stuff yet. I'm not even going to introduce who I have on the phone just yet either. What I want to do is basically talk a little bit about tonight and what we're going for, man. I just want to let you guys know that as a person that is kind of looking on the casual fan perspective, I am trying to look at, if I'm watching a TV show, I'm trying to look at stuff logically. I'm trying to look at stuff. You're still there, Volkner. I just muted you for a second. As a casual fan, and this is before the podcast or even the show even starts. We are live technically, but I just want to bring this up, guys. For those of you that saw my tweets tonight about Bray Wyatt, and we're going to fully discuss it on the show. We're just going to dive right in. I look at stuff from a casual fan perspective. When I try to, on Twitter, reason about things, it's logical reasoning. It's not just, oh, WWE messed up and they didn't book it like that. They should have done it like that. Well, no, that's not what the TV show is. Me as an analyst is looking at what they presented on TV, and that's when I'm on Twitter going, no, this is what I saw as a story. I don't like the fact that Wyatt lost to Kane either, but based on what was presented on the screen, it fully made sense, and we'll get into that later. I just want to let people get a chance to come in here a little bit. On the phone, you guys can follow me on Twitter at @IamTheVolkner. Before we get started, we'll pimp out your stuff in a little bit. We had you on last time, right? Tell people a little bit about you that maybe you're like, wait, who the is this guy? How did this come about, Volkner? You just tell him, because tell him from your perspective, somebody that just tell him the whole story, how you got here, and why you still think that I'm making not necessarily the wrong decision, but why you think I'm a little crazy for allowing you to be here. Just give me your side of the story.
Oh, well, one day at Hampton Beach, Massachusetts, go Red Sox, by the way. That's awesome. Well, one day in Hampton Beach, Mass, I was, on Twitter, and my friend Kyle said, oh, dude, WWE was doing a podcast. You should totally go on. And you shouldn't mess around. And I go, why the fuck would I do that? Kyle's a good kid, by the way. Go like him on Facebook, Kyle Otero. I'll be mentioning a lot of my good friends from wrestling, because you don't have like many good wrestling friends. So anyway, my friend Kyle actually called me and said, "Oh, dude, you should go around and you should go on his podcast and like mess around." And I was like, let me just see what I'm getting into, guys. So I stand like the call. I pick up the phone. Then you want the call, put it down. And I didn't have the best Wi-Fi service down there. So I picked up the phone, called it, put it down, picked up the phone, called it, put it down. Every time you were on a call, I was like, shit. Picked up the phone, called it, put it down. And then you finally answered. And as you answered, I was in a room full of people. So all of a sudden, I almost tripped, but I catch myself. And I run down the stairs and run outside. And I just basically told you how I felt and what I see from my perspective. And you seem to like it a lot. And from a casual fan, from a fan that actually watches the show, from a fan that actually knows what's going on in the ring and how much it hurts.
So now let's talk a little bit about that. For those people that don't know what Volkner does, who he is, you may be just hearing him on the phone right now. Tell him a little bit like why you know how that hurts.
Well, I'm currently 16 years old, for those who think I'm like 50 from the way I talk. So I'm currently 16-year-old, training to become a professional wrestler.
Now,
And,
what school lets you in the ring under 18? I thought all schools have to wait till you're 18. Do they keep it low key? Do they just
Bell Time Wrestling Academy? I had to sign a lot of waivers.
A lot of waivers. But you won.
And
So like, have you had anybody told you last night CM Punk got into the octagon? Got his ass handed to him in 2 minutes and 14, and I made a video defending that, everything that went into Punk, because people didn't see what went into 19 months. People just saw, this is a guy that left the money and the fame, why would he leave? Same thing, they're saying, why would Del Rio or Page leave? You can only put up with so much for the company. Now, last night, I shit on the company, essentially. And now tonight, people are thinking I'm just defending it because of what I'm saying about Bray Wyatt's booking, and that's not true. But training to be a wrestler, let me ask you this. What's the, because you said you were just getting started. What's the biggest bump you've taken? Have you taken a big bump yet? Anything in the ring?
Biggest bump I've taken was probably a springboard enziguri on the top rope thing.
Dang.
They teach you very well there. It took a lot of begging from my mother and a lot of like, you know, signing and like make sure you don't get hurt, make sure you buy the right elbow pads, make sure you buy the right knee pads. I'm basically in bubble wrap when we go into there.
You're in bubble wrap. Is there anybody that told you that you couldn't do it? Like, this is something that you want to do, right? Is there anybody that told you couldn't do it? Is there anybody that said like you can't do it?
Trust me. A lot of my family tells me I shouldn't do this. This is something that look at Chris Benoit. The other day, I told my teacher I wanted to become a professional wrestler, and purposely he put on the Chris Benoit Wrestling with Demons documentary. And a bunch of a bunch of like what do I call them? Like I don't want to call them wrestlers because they're not wrestlers, but they're there. Basically like a bunch of like, first of all, they work for the MWF or Boston Wrestling, and I was like, oh yeah, can you give me some some pointers? And one of them, not going to say his name because I don't want people to go to him and yell at him. One of them said, "You just don't have a look." I'm not lying to you at all. This is a true story. Take it for what it's worth. He said I don't have the look. My face was too scrunched together. My arms just weren't big enough, and that gets to you. And I live my life going through a day-to-day basis, but I love wrestling. Wrestling is something that I do. Wrestling is something that I love. Wrestling is something that I eat, breathe, and sleep every day. I wake up to wrestling. I wake up and check my phone to see if anything went on in the world of wrestling. Wrestling is everything to me, and I want to give back to the world of professional wrestling with my appearance. That may sound cocky, but it's me, man.
That is one of the reasons why I just wanted you on a co-host, because I'm on a path right now, and there's some people that you're not gonna get as big of a crowd. Like, okay, when I used to do live shows and bitch about the product, I used to draw in huge numbers, right? Because people want to come and vent and bitch. Like, if I was just say Wyatt's booking sucked, let's talk about it, come in and vent your frustrations, we would get a hell of a lot more people watching. It would. But I don't necessarily just want the fans bitching all the time, because I'm in a place in my life where I used to just be upset all the time at the WWE. And I'm like, why am I watching a product I don't like? And I have to be honest, everything that the WWE has done as of late has been booked very well. Let me give you some examples here as we're going to start this live show in about 2 minutes. How many people remember when Eva Marie didn't come to the ring and Alexa Bliss debuted, and Becky Lynch, who's now the women's champion, who had no right to lose to Alexa Bliss because she's now the champion. It was just another loss for Becky Lynch. Why did that happen? Because she was expecting to face Eva Marie, and instead, oh shit, who's this? It's Alexa Bliss. That's how we're going to justify a little bit about the Kane stuff. But let's get going on this. If you guys are just wondering what this is just... I just messed up my own intro. I think I had one too many of these beers, bro. I know you're 16, so you can't get on in this gimmick just yet. And if you are, we can't talk about it because that'd be against the law unless you're the parent. In Wisconsin, you can drink at a bar if you're any age. Did you know that? Wisconsin is the only state in the world, in the U.S., that you can go to a bar underage with your parents, not at home, because you can drink at home in other states too. But it's only where a bartender can legally serve you shots, drinks, whatever they want at a bar. I did it when I was 13 years old. There are bars that don't allow it, but bars can. So, we've been in bars quite a while. So I did have a little bit of a drink. But it's just wrestling. We're going to be talking about the show tonight. We have WWE Backlash. My co-host tonight is I Am The Volkner. You guys can follow him on Twitter at I Am The Volkner. We're going to be breaking down the pay-per-view. And right away, man, I want to start off with, did you see the pre-show? Did you get a chance to check out Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good match. I like it.
All right, so right now, as people watching, man, Apollo Crews is becoming a jobber, Volkner. What are your thoughts? Is Apollo Crews a guy that Baron Corbin was pissed off that he wasn't on the show? Apollo was there. He was a part of the match. It was impromptu. Is Apollo Crews just a jobber being buried, or does he have nothing for the fans to cheer for to give him a win streak yet? What are your thoughts on Apollo Crews losing to Baron Corbin tonight?
I honestly really didn't like it, to be honest. Didn't he have a feud with Kalisto, or didn't he enter Kalisto? It's all over the place, man. But the match was amazing. I give credit to both of those guys for what they did. But Apollo Crews losing is not really what's good. Apollo Crews is a young talent. He's an amazing athlete, an amazing wrestler. He's worked Uha Nation worked all over the world. And I just personally think that Baron Corbin didn't really like show me personally enough to win that. Like, I'm not saying the booking decisions were wrong. I'm just saying like he could have won in a better way.
All right,
like,
that's one of the things right there that we had a little bit of disagreement, but I could kind of understand where that comes from. You know, you brought up the respect for Apollo Crews as a guy that, you know, should be winning matches, but he chose to be in the WWE, and right now they're not using him very well, and that sucks. But at the same time,
Baron Corbin, don't get me wrong, Baron Corbin is like Biker Undertaker, kind of. Like, if you want me to compare him, he's like Biker Undertaker.
Yeah.
But there comes a time where you have to stop throwing a boxing match and doing an end of days, because when you realize that, it's too late. Undertaker realized it at the right time. Maybe a boxing match in a last ride isn't really good enough. One day Baron Corbin will, you know, like make his craft better, and then we'll finally get a good show out of him. By the way, great match tonight, and Apollo Crews is not going to become a jobber on anyone's watch, the internet watch. He's an amazing athlete. Much respect to both of those guys, honestly.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying, and that's one of the things where we can kind of agree. This was a match that neither one of them really had a win, a loss.
Yeah.
There was really no reason for the match to happen. This would be an example where I would agree with you that it is kind of a 50-50 booking, that it didn't really make sense for either one of them to win because there was no build. This is something WWE could have done better, and I'll be the first one to admit it. For those people that think I'm just sucking on the WWE seat over there, it just kind of came out of nowhere. You had nobody to cheer for. I mean, Apollo right now is just right now doing the high-flying stuff. I have nothing to cheer for him. You know, I mean, the high-flying stuff only gets you so far, but you're right. Somebody in Apollo Crews' shoes definitely needs to be treated better, and hopefully there's more down the line for him. All right, let's go through the matches really quick before we take calls. We will be taking your calls, guys, and discussing anything you want to talk about. But let's quick, about 2 minutes on each one. Opening contest, man. We had the women's six-pack elimination challenge. I have to say,
Amazing.
I was a little like, okay, they're doing a six-pack elimination challenge match. Remembering past women's matches with multi-women matches, or divas,
Amazing
as they
athletes.
were. And tonight we had an awesome... The only thing I would nitpick is they made it seem like a battle royale, constantly throwing them out of the ring. That was the only thing that I went, okay, all right.
I mean, honestly, what's it called? The spots they did outside the ring and into the ring is actually amazing. I mean, those women are, I mean, they're beautiful. They're great at Becky Lynch, by the way. She's a beautiful young lady. She can wrestle. That's what I like to see in women's wrestling. Back then, it was just a bra and panties match. If that was still happening, women's wrestling wouldn't be shit.
Yeah.
Those women made it, and I'm perfectly fine with any of those women becoming champion. Becky Lynch just was at the right place at the right time. She wasn't even in the match half the time, but she's at the right place at the right time. She locked in that disarmor, and new champion.
Boom. And the one reason that this is where I think WWE's missed out on this a little bit, right, is Apollo Crews is a guy, he does awesome stuff. Neville does awesome stuff, but why am I cheering for him? Becky, was the person, like, leading up to this match. They could have had that build, as in the struggle after the match. They did a very good job of explaining that, she's been struggling. She, was a flight attendant. She did all this. That could have been introduced beforehand, so the win meant a little bit more. As far as the TV presentation, if you're just watching her on TV and you fell in love with Becky Lynch, she absolutely deserves this 100%. I thought they did a great job all night tonight because it looks like we have three matches coming out of this 6-pack challenge. It looks like we have 3 feuds. It looks like Carmella versus Nikki, Carmella versus Nikki, Natalia possibly versus Naomi, and I think I'm just gonna spitball this out here. I could be completely wrong. I think Alexa Bliss challenges Becky Lynch on the fact that when she debuted, she beat her. And that should put her in line for a title. Let me get your thoughts on that. Who do you think would be the first person to challenge Becky Lynch for the title?
I'm honestly hoping it's Alexa Bliss. If you saw what that lady could do tonight, oh my goodness.
Yeah, Harley Quinn did a great job tonight. I mean,
oh my God.
Her attire was on point. Like when she was on the pre-show, and I was like, that's Harley Quinn, and I 100% love it. Like Alexa is just, when she was in the ring, like she was screaming, she was getting mad, she was kind of being Harley Quinn, and that's something that you're not being just the typical, women or male wrestler. You're doing something more. You're getting upset. You're screaming. You have a little bit of edge to you, and that came out tonight. It was just like I brought up, Baron Corbin hasn't done anything. I haven't put over any of Baron Corbin matches except for his NXT match with Austin Aries. Because in that match...
that was awesome.
Yeah, in that match, he was crapping on the crowd. He was doing his heel stuff. He was doing what he had to. And tonight, you had Carmella, who came down to the final 2 after taking out, Alexa Bliss was gone, Nikki Bella was gone, and Carmella pushed Nikki, gets slapped across the face. And so you think, oh, are they going to get screwed? Is it going to end right away? No, there was a little bit of back and forth, and ultimately in the end, Becky Lynch won. But this was a match that we're getting stuff out of this match. So on a pay-per-view match, this was a good match. It was. Let's move on to the Usos versus the Hype Bros. I got to ask you this. What did you think of the Usos heel turn in regards to American
We all
Alpha?
hated them anyways. Honestly, we all didn't like them in the beginning to begin with. I mean, the Usos are stale now. They're yesterday's news. The tag team division is on its heels right now. Basically, we have upcoming tag teams. We have Gable, Jason Jordan. We have everyone. Why do they still try to be there? Why can't they just enjoy the good matches with new guys? And why do they always have to be in the spotlight? It's like the Hype Bros. The match without Zack Ryder deserves better, by the way. Go like my page on Facebook. # give Zack Ryder a push. Anyway.
Yeah, you're a fan of Ryder, but so the Usos, like I would agree in the past it was stale until the heel turn on American Alpha, and here's why. You had American Alpha beat the Usos in 28 seconds, and the Usos snapped. I will say I loved the Usos' attire tonight. But they did what WWE has been. Nice. Yeah, they did what WWE's been doing as of late. That they've been giving people a reason to not be able to compete, to win, to lose. The injury angle. They took out Chad Gable, so now Gable and Jordan are going to be chasing that championship. So when they finally win, the crowd is going to pop. They are.
Just like soft.
Yeah, I think I'm a little worried though because I was hoping the Usos would kind of win. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love the fact that Heath Slater won and got a job. But part of me was still hoping, and this is where somebody's going to say, Toby, you booked WWE. I did, because I tweeted out tonight. I thought what would be cool would be, just because they're heels, would be to have the Usos win tonight, take out Rhino's knee, like they did everybody else, and Heath Slater's just there, and he can't believe the fact that he's lost. Rhino's on his way out. He's desperate. AJ Styles has got the championship. He goes to Daniel Bryan, please do me something. And AJ, like he did tonight, hey, man, I'm the face that runs the place. Beat me, and I'll hire you myself. And then somehow he wins, and boom, pop. It wouldn't have made sense, but I'm not mad that it didn't happen. That's the difference between when I pitch something is just because it didn't happen, I'm like, oh. You know what I mean?
Well, Heath Slater is the ultimate success story. I mean, honestly, that man is.
After tonight, this man has got a double wide trailer. Do you know how jealous I am right now? He's got a double wide. I'm sitting here in a room. That's the life. Him and Beulah with all his kids. He's getting out of that community pool. That's what's up. I wonder if any MMA fans have tuned in. Really? They're making more than our Reebok deal. Or less than our Reebok deal. Throwing some shade over there. We'll jump on from that one. The Usos pick up the victory. Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Probably the... Let me ask you this before we get into it. Who the hell was the guy that was there promoting tonight for Nick? What's his name?
I was going to ask you that, to be honest. Is he a skateboarder? Is he some kid from Nickelodeon?
Yeah, the kid.
I don't know.
He has a Nickelodeon show that he tours the world, does a bunch of crazy shit. Like he's kind of like the Casey Neistat of YouTube, or he does crazy shit.
If it's not 90s Nick, I'm not with it.
Hey, we're on the same page. Even though you're 16, 90s Nick. Shit, we're on a better page than we thought we were. So the reason I said this is because I tweeted this out, and then Kid Behind a Camera from Angry Grandpa had just went like, he facepalmed when I said that was a good segment. It was a stupid segment because the cross promotion makes no sense at all. But like, I thought he handled it himself well. Everybody else thought he acted kind of bad. But he got under the Miz's skin when he said, if John Cena's not available, I popped personally. I was like, shit, this little kid's throwing shade. But what did you think of the match? This was probably, if it wasn't for the main event and the women's match, which is kind of two of the 7 matches, this is probably my favorite match of the night.
Oh, honestly, very good technical wrestling tonight by Dolph Ziggler, as always. Miz is an amazing ring worker. Getting a bit on the chubby side, though, but that's fine. Who cares? The Miz, usually his gimmick would start to get stale by now, but honestly, it's not really getting that stale.
Would you put this as one of his, everybody was saying this is one of his best runs. I personally love his run. And those of you that are just watching, we are going to be taking your calls. Just sit tight. We're just going through the matches right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is probably his best run. And I went through it tonight and retweeted out some tweets from like 2015 where I was like, dude, The Miz is number 1. The Miz is the best. If you want to be a heel, follow The Miz. He is crapping on Daniel Bryan before his match, saying he is the IC champion. He deserves to be here. This man is getting under Daniel Bryan's skin. One of probably your favorite on-screen wrestler in the last 5 years. The people that are watching, if you're a Daniel Bryan fan, like you just love the story. Daniel Bryan overcame everything. And now The Miz is shitting on the fact that he can't wrestle. And Daniel Bryan is just sitting there like,
Daniel Bryan's going to wrestle. Daniel Bryan is definitely going to wrestle.
So what are you saying? What are you saying on the odds on that? What are you putting on? If I'm going to the track, what are the odds that I want to avoid about Daniel Bryan possibly being the winner?
5,000 out of 5,000 odds. Honestly, you can't even build a storyline with a guy who cannot wrestle unless it's with Daniel Bryan's going to come back. Daniel Bryan will come back, and I promise all of you, Daniel Bryan is going to come back. It's going to be okay. I'm so happy.
Somebody bookmark that audio right there, and if a year or two from now, you can go to his Twitter, which is at I am the Vulcan. By the way, if you're not following him, you can go crap on him then, because you're saying he's coming back 100%. Daniel Bryan will be back in the ring by when? What's the time frame?
Oof, when he starts to get full of it, and shout out to Dylan LaFoehead, because I just got his tweet. Thanks. He was hoping to get on this post pay-per-view live calling with Tubby Emo at I Am the Vulcan. Thank you for actually mentioning me. Yeah, I hope he calls and help you.
I'll have to be honest with you. If I'm looking at that match, it was perfection because this man crapped on Daniel Bryan behind the stage. This is just like the Wyatt thing too, and we'll touch on this in a little bit. Miz,
did you say perfection?
Yeah. He crapped on Daniel Bryan, and he went out there and imitated him with the drop kicks. He did stuff we've never. Miz has had the same moveset for 10 years. There's a reason Miz doesn't get injured, like he says, legitimately. Miz isn't a stupid wrestler. Miz knows how to go out there, do what he has to. Even if you think he's boring, he does what he has to do. And tonight he did new stuff tonight that he's never done.
It's amazing, but I have to slightly disagree. The Miz's moveset is unique. You know, it's an amazing technical offense you don't really see out of anybody today. The Miz's moveset is like it's like a perfect I don't know how, you know those Doritos that you get and like they have all the stuff on them. It's like one of those.
Is it Dorito with all the stuff on it? I don't know if I get that. What kind of Doritos are we talking about? Because we're talking Cool Ranch. I always hated those chips as a kid, but once I had one, I probably ate most of them. I was always a nacho cheese guy myself. What kind of Doritos are we talking about?
The Cool Ranch.
Oh, shit. He's going Cool Ranch.
My friends are blowing up my phone saying, you sound cool Doritos with a smiley face.
God damn,
the Miz's moveset is honestly better than it's ever been.
It is.
The fact the fact is, I mean, the Miz is amazing. I was rooting for Dolph as always. I'm a Zack Ryder fan. Let's just be honest here. The Miz. Oh God!
You're still. This man is still sour. For those that don't know, you're on the phone with one of the biggest Zack Ryder fans. This man created the Facebook page, Give Ryder the Push. I have to say, when he got beat, you were still sour about it, and to this day, you're still sitting there raging over your keyboard.
Oh my God!
You're still upset. So I don't want to touch on that. I don't want to get under your skin with Ryder, although he lost. I'm just saying. But tonight, the Miz essentially put on one hell of a show. Ziggler sold the leg perfectly well. This is an example of like Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. All honesty, sucked. Everybody said it was going to be this. It was going to be this technical match that would blow away the show. But who put on the best technical match with Dolph Ziggler? The Miz, a guy you would not think to have the best technical match. So I give all the credit in the world to him.
I'm so shocked that the MTV guy is actually making it this far. Honestly, because think about it. When you first saw the Miz, you know, when you had the mohawk, when you had the dyed mohawk, the bleached top, like you know what I mean? Hoorah, hoorah. You know, you didn't really expect this guy to make it. And then, like, you know, that one match with Benoit, he got his ass kicked. Every match he got his ass kicked when he was a jobber to the Boogeyman.
Bro, were you a fan of the Dirt Sheet? Were you a fan of the Dirt Sheet back in the day with Miz and Morrison? Did you watch it?
I wasn't a fan of the attires, but as soon as he hit the awesome phase, as he hit the awesome phase, the A-lister phase, the guy who defended his title at WrestleMania against one of the top guys, that's when he became the Miz. Mike Mizanin, the man who will forever. The Miz has had quite the career. He cashed in on Orton legit. He is the first man to hold the United States and the Money in the Bank. The first man to, I don't know if he did this, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. The first man to win both tag titles, I believe, right?
What was it? It was Show Miz and Y2, what was it, Y2J and Miz's? Yeah, it was at WrestleMania. They had both. They had both. It was with Show Miz. They had both the tag team titles. Yeah.
Show Miz. Yeah.
He stayed innovative. Yeah. What you're saying is, like, you have all these guys, like, in WWE. Dolph Ziggler has been here 10 years. He has not done the only thing in the last 5 years, besides trying to become HB Ziggler, that he's done differently was the 3 weeks he went to brown hair with Vicky Guerrero. That's the only thing that he's done differently. Like, I love Dolph Ziggler to death, but until you do something like The Miz got stale and boring a year and a half ago. 2 years ago. After his WrestleMania downfall, he kind of fell into a trap, but then Mizdow brought him back, and then he kept innovating, and tonight, you saw it, man. This is what, if you want to be in the WWE a long time, you do what The Miz does. He is able to find ways to...
The Miz kind of made that Mizdow thing, to be honest with you, because basically... the way he kept reacting to it, and like he kept yelling at him, and like the matches thing, and honestly, I just think that the Miz was never like honestly stale. He's a 5-time Intercontinental Champion, for like Pete's sake, honestly.
So you better put some respect on this man's name, is what he's saying. You better put some respect on it.
Oh my God, my friend says that all the time.
Yeah, you better put some respect on it. Let me look at his accolades really quick. I'm going to run through some of his accolades now that you brought him up. The Miz is a 1-time WWE champion, 2-time United States, 5-time Intercontinental champion. He is a 4-time tag team champion with Morrison, Big Show, Cena, and Mizdow. He's a world tag team champion twice with Big Show and John Morrison. He was Mr. Money in the Bank. He was the 25 Triple Crown champion. He was the 14th Grand Slam champion. He's won 2 Slammy Awards, and he was the most improved wrestler in the Tag Team of the Year from Dave frickin' Meltzer. So he's got quite the accolade.
Never wrong.
Yeah, and he's got, in PWI, he was ranked number 1 on the top 500 single wrestlers. So this man, when he held the title, when a lot of people complained when he was with Alex Riley and main evented WrestleMania, he got number 1, and so did Roman Reigns, for the reason that he was on top and he won. Even if you didn't like him, he found a way to win, and that's what Roman Reigns has done. as he was
Okay,
number
well,
one.
there's a huge difference between Roman Reigns and The Miz. See, The Miz can actually wrestle.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. Let's go to the chat a little bit, guys. Don't say respect. Left bumper, come on, man.
I genuinely respect Roman Reigns for what he's doing right now, but he's improved. Roman Reigns has improved. I respect the man, but I just I don't really think he can wrestle that good.
All right. Miz versus. What did you think of the end? Quick, because we're gonna try to push this along.
Oh my God, I cried honestly.
By hook or crook, a heel finds a way to win.
How do you think of pepper spray? How?
No, hey, was that pepper spray or was that the spray tan that Mizdow used a year or two ago? That's what the first thing somebody tweeted out was that, and I was like, it was the spray tan from Mizdow. He must have went and found it.
No, because he wouldn't be grabbing his eyes and screaming.
It's probably like a spray of water or something, whatever. But it doesn't matter. Like, what did you think of the finish? Because that's what a heel is supposed to do, right? Some people are like, "Oh, a dirty finish." That's what a heel does. That's what a heel is meant to do.
That's what a heel does. But I mean, The Miz is not really the most coward wrestler, as Daniel Bryan says he is. Honestly, that's like The Miz is just smart.
Yeah, he could have after a long, grueling match when he had him in the figure four, he could have not let go. And then you could have had like the referee distracting, and as the referee is distracting, she could have came over and sprayed him in the face, and then he's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And he could have resent her to the ring and made him tap out. There's so much you could have done, but in the end, Dolph Ziggler loses. Dolph Ziggler loses.
I respect both those men, honestly, man.
You have to. That was one of the best matches of the night. I absolutely loved it. All right, let's move on and cover these kind of quick. You have two matches back to back. The first one. All right, for those people that were watching my Twitter before we get into the calls, and we're going to be taking calls on this issue. You had Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt attacked Randy Orton for no reason backstage. Now, for those people that don't watch dirt sheets or read dirt sheets, that was because Randy Orton is actually not clear to compete from facing Brock Lesnar. Now, that part isn't relevant because what you should be judging on is what you see on TV. And what we saw on TV was Bray Wyatt come out, who, he's braiding in, he's trying to like bring in Randy Orton, this whole buildup, and he finally gets him. But he attacks him before the show, comes out, and he wants the easy victory. He tells the referee, "You count that 10, and I'm taking the victory." And he's sitting there gloating, right? And as he finally gets the 10 count, he's going to leave. Greg Hamilton says, "But wait, there's going to be a no DQ match." That should have been sign number one that he was probably not going to win. Why would it have been a no DQ match if he was supposed to win? Why? That's the first thing I want to throw out to your attention. The second thing, in that match, yes, he did lose to Kane, and that sucks if you're a Wyatt fan. But what did he do all match, Volkner? What was the one thing he got on the announce table and did as Kane laid there about to go through? What did he do?
He did the senton.
He did the senton. Before the senton, he mocked Randy Orton.
Okay. Yeah.
He went up there and mocked him. Now, if you're Randy Orton and you're backstage, and about 5 minutes later is when he came out, would you take that if you're Randy Orton? If you're seeing a guy that you're in a feud with who just attacked you, this dude just mocked you on TV. He takes you out. He takes a cheap count-out victory. The guy that tells everybody to bring it against him, and then all of a sudden he comes out. And I will say the chair that was used, this was one of Kane's best matches, by the way. Kane and Big Show are guys that when they're needed, they get put in there. And I'll be the first one to tell you, didn't Kane just recently come out on SmackDown a week or two ago? At that time, I facepalmed. I went, oh, fuck, it's Kane. Oh, shit, it's Kane. And tonight when Kane came out, I was making fun of it, that, oh, shit, Kane came out. But once I saw what was happening, I went, okay, I get why Kane is here. And that's where I was fine with it. At first, I was like, oh, shit, Kane's here. Oh, God, what's going to happen? But ultimately, he mocked him the whole time. He almost gets the victory, and out comes Randy Orton. Now, I will say this. When Randy Orton hit the RKO, Kane should have pinned him. I thought it could have been a great swerve for those people who say that he didn't have to lose to Kane. I understand that. When Kane was going for the choke slam, he kind of kicked the chair out of the way. There was a part of me that said, oh, shit, he just got RKO'd, and now he's going to... out of nowhere, Sister Abigail Kane on the chair for the win. and then they're going to have a face-off, and Randy Orton's going to be like, oh, shit. That would have been cool. I will agree with you guys. He didn't necessarily need to win, but the feud is not Kane versus Bray Wyatt. The feud is Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, and this is what they turned a shit into a show because he couldn't compete. And in my eyes, it did exactly what it was supposed to. What would people have said if Randy Orton was supposed to win this match all along? They would have said the same thing. Oh, Wyatt can never win. Right? What did you think of the match?
I thought it was amazing. Honestly, I thought that both men could wrestle. Bray Wyatt, who just came out in amazing shape, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's really slimmed down. He's looking good.
Oh yeah, he looks amazing, and his dreadlocks and the red streak in his hair, he looks great. Kane looks amazing, better than ever actually. He doesn't have that like gut he used to have anymore. He's like he has abs now. And
what did you think? What did you think when he came out? Like, he did end up putting on a pretty good match. Again, it was kind of an impromptu match. And I did say before the show, I said we only have 5 matches on pay-per-view because of no Wyatt versus Orton. And on paper, that sucks. Yeah. But this impromptu match came about. What did you first think when Kane came out? What did you think was going to happen?
I thought that it was just going to be another squash match that Kane always has, to be honest with you. He was just going to chokeslam him and just look at him. I mean, lately, I've been thinking he's going to have a feud with The Undertaker. I don't really know. There has to be a reason why they're making him look this dominant and making him win every match. Now, it could be a setup to a feud or something like that, you know what I mean?
You could possibly, like, think about that. Like, we're all looking at it right now as, the guy that, comes around every once in a while and wrecks everybody's hopes and dreams when we all... Because Kane is the guy that... Kane or Big Show, when you're expecting a huge debut or return, they're the ones that come out and people go, oh, fuck. So, I will say there was really no reason for Kane to win this match. Like you said, he's not on TV. He hasn't been doing anything. I understand that perspective, and I'd love to talk with you guys. We're going to take calls in about 5 minutes, and that number will be on screen. You're right. Kane didn't need a victory, but based on what happened on screen, it made sense that Kane got the victory because he mocked him the whole night, and Wyatt just didn't give a shit tonight. The senton? Look at everything this man did tonight. This match served to get him over and do stuff that he's never done before. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that one. I'll let you finish up on that quick before I move on.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think that Bray Wyatt actually worked more on his in-ring ability. He's been doing some stuff that he hasn't done in before when he was A. Husky Harris or B. Bray Wyatt. So I think he's I think Bray Wyatt's pretty cool. Hopefully this whole Kane thing will fall out in the future. But if you want to take callers now.
All right. Last 2 things before we do. Rhino. This man is running for office in Michigan.
That's why I was saying vote for Rhino. I was wondering.
Yeah. So I tweeted that out. I said, Heath Slater's got a job. See, Rhino's a job creator. Vote for him. That's low key such a good thing. Like, he's wearing his own campaign T-shirt in the backstage segments. I love the little stuff between them. I will say this because I loved every bit of this, except for the stupid joke about it had to be a Vince McMahon joke. Let's have Heath Slater make him seem like he's gonna crap his pants. Wouldn't that be funny, guys? Like, I kind of picture that's what Vince said. He's like, guys, let's have him crap his pants because that would be funny. So like I said, I'm not loving everything they do. It's just, it did make sense. This man's got a job, and he didn't even do it. Rhino did. So I love the fact that he's just like, what? And he rolls over and gets the pin. Are you happy that Heath Slater's got a job, or do you think that had they lost, there could have been more to the story, or do you just want it? Because this was the best feud going. This was the best story in WWE the last month.
I just like Heath Slater in general. Honestly, man, the man will do anything that they tell him to, and they'll do it better than anything.
Yeah, he's another guy that probably should have been gone from the WWE based on what they kept. Like, they would try to do something with him, and then it would kind of fall out. But then he would find ways to, like, when he was getting squashed by the Legends, or when he was in not NXT, I was going to call it NXT, when he was with Nexus and the Core. I mean, we were all back then saying, we know what's right for Heath Slater. He shouldn't be in a tag team with Gabriel. He should be the one-man rock band because he's so much better on his own. But every time he's in a group, it's pretty freaking entertaining. So I'll be the first one to tell you I was wrong when I said the one-man Southern rock band was there, because I love what he's doing with Rhino. Like, I think they make a good on-screen team.
One of my people just texted me. They said the stream was lagging pretty badly. Sorry if I interrupted you there. I just got feedback from one of the people who's watching it.
It did this last time too. It just killed it because we went from 70 to 30 people. Well, we're gonna have to keep this for like essentially the YouTube show then. Well, shit. All right. Well, in that case, let's hurry up and because we're gonna. It does this right at a half hour. It dies on YouTube. I don't get it.
YouTube is just messing up people's videos.
Right on point. YouTube randomly starts lagging 30 to 45 minutes and kills the crowd. All right, you know what? We're going to move on, guys. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm going to hurry up and try to get calls before it gets too laggy. If you guys are watching this, I do apologize. This is the second time it's happened. The last time it happened was when this man was on the phone. We went from 100 and something to like 40. So it is what it is. Last but not least, AJ Styles beat Dean Ambrose with a nut shot. You said before we talked, the nut shot. What were your thoughts on
shot though? Like,
this man beat John Cena. Like, if you're not cool with Bray Wyatt's booking, this man beat the face that runs the place clean at SummerSlam. But Dean Ambrose, he had to win dirty. I'm just saying, if you want to be that guy, I'm just gonna say that.
If you beat John Cena clean, wouldn't you expect him to beat Dean Ambrose clean? I mean, John Cena and Dean Ambrose are like two different pedestals. But like, how? Like, this man, AJ Styles, is a TNA world champion. He was a NJPW world champion. The man, the man basically is the best wrestler in the world. And then you let him pin Dean Ambrose with a nut shot.
I will say this, as a heel, that's what heels do, and I'm fine with it. Right? He won the championship by something dirty in probably the best match Dean Ambrose has had all year. Would you say that was like, because Dean has done nothing. Like, I have not enjoyed Dean's reign at all.
Well, I mean, they don't really let him do anything that he wants to do. If we want to bring that, if you want to bring up how Dean Ambrose sucks as a champion, it's just I don't mean to bring up backstage, but it's just the way that they're booking him. Honestly, Dean has such great ideas. Like that match with Dolph Ziggler, I knew deep down that they probably had some great ideas for the match, but they just didn't want to do it.
That's where I don't know. It's too hard to speculate about what happened. But in the end, Styles got the victory, and the man that lost to Roman Reigns, and everybody said he's buried. Less than 5 months later, he is your reigning, defending WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That's all I'm gonna say.
What goes around comes around.
Exactly. You just have to wait for it, and you can't be complaining because who knows? Maybe Wyatt losing is going to lead to something. All right, let's go ahead and start taking your guys' calls right now if you want to jump on. Call in and let's talk. 619-618-0268. Please make sure you have everything else in the background muted if you do call in. And holy crap, I went from having no bags under my eyes to having bags under my eyes once I started fucking drinking beer. I had to crack a couple beers because dealing with all that Wyatt shit made me go crazy. So if you're one of the people that are going to defend Wyatt, I want to hear it. You know what I could give away tonight, though? I could give this away.
What could you give away?
I was going to tweet this out, but I was worried for that very reason the stream would die. I have this. For those of you guys don't know, I do work for Rust Crate. If you want to get a Rust Crate, by the way, you can go to rustcrate.com. I don't know if I have a code because I work for the company anymore, so I deactivated my own code. But I do have a Rhino autograph. Unfortunately, I put a piece of tape on the back, so there is a little bit of a see-through thing, a tape rip. But I do have a Rhino autograph I was possibly going to give away, but then the stream died. I'm not going to give it away tonight. I'll probably give it away on my channel tomorrow or Tuesday on SmackDown Live. Once Rhino's there, you guys can follow at WrestleCrates on Twitter, and that's probably where I'm going to give this away. So if you possibly want a Rhino autograph, you might get it. Let's see. Tubby, switch over to Twitch. Oh, it really fucking died. Like, we had 11 people. Hoofda. Yeah, it literally, like, I'm trying to watch the stream myself, and it fucking crashed. No, it's back up now. No, it's lagging horribly. All right, you know what? Well, we're gonna end the show here on YouTube, and fuck it, I'm gonna go over to Twitch. We're gonna try it. We're just gonna try it.
Yeah.
If nobody comes over to Twitch, that's fine. Backlash post pay-per-view show breakdown. We're gonna change up the title of the video, and we're gonna switch the call-in show to Twitch. So if you guys want to jump in the call-in show, I'm sorry. Fuck YouTube for doing this, and we will see you over there. YouTube, please don't demonetize the video because I just said fuck you.